Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton at markrushton.com. It is Saturday, June 5th, 2021. This video is called An Introduction to Mark Rushton in 2021. Hide yourself in plain sight. Well, I'm Mark Rushton at markrushton.com. I'm a recording artist and a fine artist. I'm a painter of acrylic paint and acrylic ink paintings. I prefer the term recording artist over musician because I produce or capture and edit sound recordings and release them. I don't necessarily play an instrument. I don't play songs that other people write. I'm not in a live, I don't do gigs. So I don't consider myself a musician. I consider myself a recording artist because what I create is sound recordings, right? Some of them are music though. What kind of music? Well, I mainly do variations of ambient and electronic music. Some of it's beat driven. Most of it is not beat driven. Some of it's goofy stuff, little cut up technique things, voice samples and stuff like that. Some experimental. A lot of it is nature and environmental recordings. I've been getting into that here the last several years. I've always done it to a certain degree. Been doing more of that in recent years. I like to talk about my work, and that's the reason for these videos. Whether or not anybody is paying attention, they say, I hear this advice all the time. They say you should be telling stories about your art, whether it's recordings or paintings or something like that. But I've always had a difficult time with doing that. And so these videos are a way for me to practice and to get better at that, for you to kind of if you find my work, whether it's a painting, whether it's an audio recording, and I want to find out a little bit more about that Mark Rushton. Says almost nobody. But so I think it's something that I need to work at. I need to get better at. So that's why I make these things. I publish recordings under a lot of different names. Currently, it's more than 20. It's not gonna grow anymore. I think I've reached my limit. Some of those I'm not going to be releasing any new recordings under. So I have found my limit. It should be scaled back a little bit, but it is what it is. It does allow me the freedom to release a lot of recordings. I don't release everything that I make. I do have a bit of a good editing process, but there's stuff that I've recorded over the years where I kind of feel like that is good within its thing. And so I go make something new, a new band name or whatever to release that because it does fit in a certain kind of niche. If you just look up Mark Rushton out there, you'll only see a tiny part of the picture. Somebody might say, "Oh, how's it? Oh, Mark Rushton's releasing stuff. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's only got at the current time. I only have around 950, 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify under my name." But that's only, it's only a little, somebody might think, well, he's kind of a nobody. Well, 20 artist names, some do less, some do a lot more that I publish under. And, I do well on other services as well, not just Spotify. Spotify does have those numbers out there. I do very, very well on Pandora. Very well on Pandora on most of the names that I publish under. And things are doing okay on Apple Music, relatively speaking. Amazon Music Unlimited, YouTube Music. In the last couple of years here, I've been getting streams and plays and royalties from around the world for those former Soviet republics that you can't pronounce even. It's amazing to see something like that. One thing I've always been unsure about is promotion. I've always wanted things to happen organically as far as finding listeners. I'm not really so much interested in fans or, the Mark Rushton army or anything like that. I just completely kind of uncomfortable with that sort of stuff. People find things through discovery. It's a slow process, right? And I don't know. I've been at this for 20 years. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with this. No, I'm not backing my car up into the cul-de-sac and waiting everything out. But When I try to do additional promotional things or learn of things, I try to dip my toe into the water rather than, jumping headfirst into the deep end, whether or not it has any water, right? Um, yeah, some of the advice that you get I've got seen over the years, oh, you need to find your community, right? You need to have your super fans. And I'm like, I don't, again, I'm not a musician. I don't play live. I don't play somebody's songs, my own songs. I'm not a human jukebox. So I'm not interested in that. I only want to be a recording artist. I like hanging out in the back room and making the donuts, so to speak, I guess. I don't know. As for the fine art, the paintings, well, I have my eBay art store. I was in a gallery, and I withdrew when things happened in 2020, and I took a hiatus from making new paintings because I knew the art market was going to do that swan dive, right? Which it did. But now it's June 2021. I'm slowly getting back into it. I've been working on some new things, some things I'm not very happy with. This is an older painting here, by the way, available at my eBay art store, where you can find more paintings just like this. I use a lot of the paintings for album and single art, graphics, various graphics for backgrounds and things like that, for things like Spotify and public playlists and stuff like that. So I do have uses for the art that I do create. It is original art. There is value in that. I'm not necessarily just selling the object framed, matted and framed. I have, it's good to kind of produce your own art if you're a recording artist. It helps things along. What can I say? Yeah, I've been at this for 20 years. I've been podcasting my own music since late 2004, back in the halcyon days of podcasting. Now everybody's got a podcast. And I was involved with helping to produce a monthly literary magazine published as a podcast for 9 years. So I do have some experience with all of that. I'm a big fan of streaming. Big fan of streaming. I just love that the ability for independent recording artists like myself have the ability to publish worldwide and get paid for it. Yeah, there's people out there that complain about this. They're going to complain about absolutely everything, but I'm happy. Happy with it. There's no way I would have the audience I have today without streaming. And yeah, I'm doing really good with the sound recordings. I'm very lucky. I'm not going to tell you numbers. I may drop something here every now and then, something like that, but I'm not going to tell you. I mean, and you can see if you want to dig into it, you can dig into it. But yeah, I'm doing okay with it. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with it. As far as the paintings are concerned, that'll happen in time. You just have to do the work. And I'm working all the time. I don't watch TV. I watch a little YouTube videos every now and then, classic movies. I don't watch network television. I don't watch the news. I try to not read the news on the internet. I think all that sort of stuff is energy vampires, bread and circuses. I always like to say you have less time than you think. Do you really want to spend your time watching the news, being told what to think, or the music that you're supposed to like? Right? I don't, as far as advice, I don't really have any advice for other artists other than, you should constantly work. Stop watching the news. When you start making some money, hire a CPA, track your expenses in Schedule C, and file your quarterly taxes on time. It doesn't have to get much more difficult than that. There's no silver bullet. And success is relative, right? Like, do I want to end up like, I want to be famous. I want to be a star. And then you see how they all die and you're just like, it's not for me. No, thanks. I'm happy in the back room making the donuts. Anyway, that is it for the introduction to Mark Rushton in 2021. Hide Yourself in Plain Sight, which is an album of mine. I think it's about 10 years old. Very, very good. Still relevant today. Still relevant. Go out and find it. Hide Yourself in Plain Sight. I'll add a link to the Spotify album there in the description. Anyway, I'm Mark Rushton at markrushton.com, and talk to you later.